Hello watchers, this is probably the longest video I've done so far, and we are going to discuss the Media Explorer within Reaper today, which is a particularly large feature which is nevertheless really useful in specific situations like sound designing, sampling, and so on. I've also decided to do things a little bit different this time and go for a little more natural way of explaining things instead of retaking and cutting everything. Let me know in the comment section below this video which way you like more, the way of cutting everything or explaining things more naturally. I also took a more strategic approach and split this video into several steps that you can follow along and jump to via the chapters within the description. Now let's get started and dive right into the Media Explorer. Step 1. Opening the Media Explorer for the first time. So I have got an empty Reaper project open right now, and we are going to set up the Media Explorer for the very first time, which we only need to do once. This is the part which is not quite interesting for all the sighted people out there, because this is a step that only screen reader users need to do because of the quirks that Reaper still has with especially docked windows. Because if you open the Media Explorer for the very first time, it will be docked by default, and docked windows are known to be kind of tricky to use. So we need to undock the window in order to have the Media Explorer operate the way we want it to actually work. So what we need to do, and I'm working with NVDA here, I have to mention that this is going to be different under JAWS, under narrator, under whichever screen reader you're using, and it will be different under Mac as well. So let's get started. The main key combination that you always need to remember is Ctrl-Alt-X under Windows. Replace the keystrokes for macOS accordingly. So we press this once.
Show Media Explorer.
And the screen reader will say, show Media Explorer, but in fact, we don't see any Media Explorer yet, and that is because it's still in docked mode. As soon as we undock it once, then this keystroke will actually bring up the Media Explorer and move our focus right into that window. So what we now will do is we will use the Object Navigator to actually go into the dock and move our object cursor to the Media Explorer window. I'm in NVDA laptop layout. So what we need to press here is NVDA shift left and right arrow, or in my case, right arrow. So I will quickly navigate through the object navigation. So let's use NVDA shift and right arrow here.
Vertical list scroll bar 0 in the den vertical and right.
Just ignore the German windows here. So we are basically in a vertical scroll bar, which is totally uninteresting.
Horizontal list scroll bar 0 in the den horizontal and right.
And here we are with a horizontal scroll bar, which is really uninteresting. Let's continue.
Timeline.
We got the timeline control.
Unknown.
We have an unknown control.
Reaper dock grouping.
We have the Reaper dock grouping, and that's the really interesting part. So what we're going to do next is we're going to press NVDA shift down arrow, because we want to navigate into that grouping.
Media Explorer dialog volume 0.00 dB. No media file loaded. No media file loaded.
And there we go. That is the window, the docked window that's docked somewhere within the Reaper window, and we need to undock it in order to actually behave like we want it to behave. So what we need to do is we need to click into that window, but in order to do that, we need to move our mouse where the window is. So under laptop layout NVDA, we need to press NVDA shift M.
Media Explorer volume 0.00 dB. No media file loaded. No media file loaded.
And the same functionality should be achievable by pressing the slash on the numpad.
Left click. Reaper dock grouping. Media Explorer dialog volume 0.00 dB. No media file loaded. No media file loaded. Preview level 0 desktop not selected. Collapsed 4 of 5.
That was actually the left click already. So what we need to do is shift and slash in order to do the mouse to focus. And then we need to numpad slash in order to click there. So what we now did was we jumped into the Media Explorer window. So don't forget, you need to move your NVDA object navigation or JAWS virtual cursor or whatever it is under macOS to the Reaper dock grouping, and you have to navigate in there and go to the Media Explorer and move your cursor there, your mouse there, and do a left click in order to end up within the Media Explorer window. The last step we need to do is we need to tab or navigate through until we find a list which is empty, which is probably going to be tabbing ones.
List 1 list.
There we go. That's the list, which is not empty, but we have no entry selected, so it shows basically an empty list. What we need to do now is press the context menu key.
Context menu.
And we need to press the up arrow a few times.
Close window C. Dock Media Explorer in Docker Shift plus D check D.
And that's what we want to uncheck. Dock Media Explorer in Docker, which is Shift plus D, is the alternative for hotkey that we could also press. And we will hit enter on that.
Media Explorer dialog volume 0.00 dB. No media file loaded. No media file loaded. Tree view. Desktop not selected. Collapsed 4 or 5 level 0. Desktop not selected. Collapsed 4 or 5 level 0.
So now we have undocked Media Explorer successfully, and to demonstrate that, we will just quickly press Ctrl-Alt-X again.
REAPER v6.58 registered to Tony Bath. Licensed for personal/small business use. Track view.
And there we go. It just made the Media Explorer window disappear, which is exactly what we want and exactly how we'd expect it to behave. And whenever we want and need the Media Explorer to show up again, we can now press Ctrl-Alt-X again.
Media Explorer dialog volume 0.00 dB. No media file loaded. No media file loaded. Tree view. Desktop not selected. Collapsed 4 or 5 level 0.
And we will be moved back into the Media Explorer window again. Step 2. Inspecting the Media Explorer window, browsing through files and folders, and searching. Okay, let us dive right into the Media Explorer then. I'm back in the main window, and I will press Ctrl-Alt-X to open the Media Explorer.
Media Explorer dialog volume minus 25.1 dB. No media file loaded. No media file loaded. Tree view. Level 0. Desktop collapsed 4 or 5.
Okay, so what does it say? It says Media Explorer, it says the volume that it's currently at, and I configured it to be minus 25 dB. So that we can hear the sounds without them disturbing the NVDA speech. And it says that we're in a tree view, and the currently selected item is called desktop. And this is the very first item of the Media Explorer. It's the tree view that shows 5 entries for now, and we'll go through them from top to bottom. Let's go to the very first one.
List track templates greater 1 or 5 level 0.
There we go. It's the track templates. And track templates means that this is basically checking through the track templates folder within your Reaper. Next one.
List project directory greater 2 or 5 level 0.
The project directory is the directory where current project is living in, or the Reaper media folder if your project is actually not saved yet.
My computer 3 or 5 level 0.
My computer is basically the same location that Windows calls my computer or this PC, where you can access your different hard drives and all this kind of locations on your system.
Desktop collapsed 4 or 5 level 0.
Then we got the desktop, which is the desktop as you know it. It basically allows you to scroll through all the entries on your desktop.
My documents collapsed 5 or 5 level 0.
And we've got my documents, which is the Windows location for my documents. This structure might look a bit different than a macOS. I'm not entirely sure, but it basically fulfills the same purpose. It basically allows you to navigate to all the common places that your computer has to offer. Now, what can we do with it? We can actually go to my computer now.
My computer 3 or 5 level 0.
And the Explorer navigation system consists of 2 areas. This is the first one, where we basically select the overall location, and then we have to press tab once.
List 1 list.
And this seems to be an empty list, but it isn't. There's just no item selected yet, so it shows as an empty list. And I will press the down arrow once, and we will see what items we have here.
C. Type. List disk greater 1 of 8.
So as you can see, it basically starts listing all the drives on my system because I selected my computer. And I've now selected my C drive. I can go one step further down.
D. Type. List disk greater 2 of 8.
Which is drive D. And I've got a hard drive connected to my system right now, which is on the letter H, which is called SFX, and basically contains all my sound effects. And we will just quickly navigate to that one.
E. Music. Type. Less disk greater 3 of 8. F. G. H. SFX. Type. Less disk greater 6 of 8.
There we go. Open that one. And press the down arrow.
Production music. Modified. 20.12.2021.915 Sonis. Modified.
Yeah, let's go into the folder Sonis.
3MAZDUIFX. Modified. 18.12.2021.231738. Type. Less third greater not selected 2 of 238.
And it basically starts reading out the folders and files on that hard drive.
3MAZDUIFX.
Let's go into the 3Maze AppFX folder.
Alarms. Modified.
And there we go. It basically looks like your usual Explorer window or Finder on Mac, right? You've got the different folders and files. We just want to find files here. Let's go in there.
Alarm alert 001.WOV. Size.
And now, finally, we've got files here.
24.09.2017113224. Type. WOV. Date. 2017-07-21. Description. S-note equals alarm, alert, pulse, beep, beeping, notification, notify, designed, SFX, rate, 96,000, Shan, 2, offset, 1 o'clock 00.000, length, 019.059, bits, 24 1 of 34.
There we go. So we've got 34 files in here, and it has a lot of things, right? Like a description and everything. That's basically reading out the metadata of the file. Let's use the up and down arrow keys to scroll through.
Alarm alert 002.WOV. Size 5.10 MB modified. 24.09.2017113224. Type. WOV. Date. 2017-07-22. Description.
Let's interrupt NVDA here, because it's basically saying the same stuff over and over again. But as you can hear, you've got an alarm sound, and you can hear it in the background already. That's thanks to the preview functionality of Reaper. So what else can we do in this window? Basically, you know how the concept works. You can select a location like my computer and then scroll through the files and folders in the list. And as soon as you select a file, it will automatically preview this file and you know how it sounds. But what else can we do in the Media Explorer window? We can press tab once again.
Hardware outputs button.
And we get a hardware outputs button where you can configure the Media Explorer to use separate outputs than your project, which is kind of neat in some cases. I really rarely use this at all.
Pitch. Edit selected 0.00.
So we've got a pitch input box. We can manually type in a pitch in here and it will change the preview to that pitch so that we can preview the sound in what different pitches. Let's try this with 2. There we go. So we basically pitch 2 semitones up. Let's revert this back to normal.
0.
And let's tap once again.
Rate. Edit selected 1.0.
There we go, with the rate, so we can adjust the tempo here as well. We can increase it. Let's increase the tempo to 2. This doubled the speed, as you might have noticed. Right, so that is possible within the preview as well. Kinda neat. Let's revert back to 1.
Media Explorer volume fader slider -25.1.
So we've got the fader here, which is basically set to -25.1 right now, because I want it to be as quiet as possible and still noticeable for you, but I don't want it to be interrupting the NVDA speech. Let's tap once again.
Seek.
This is a seek control, which doesn't do anything. It's basically here so that you can scroll through the sound, but this is already possible within the list, by the way, by pressing the left and right arrow keys. It allows you to scroll through the sound. So if you're, for example, previewing a loop, which is kind of long already, kind of like 16 bars or so, and you want to check how it sounds in the end, then you can just, while in the list, press the right arrow key, and you will be able to scroll through the preview sound. Let's tap once again.
Insert button.
That's the insert button, and is basically here to insert the sound that you've currently selected into the project, but there are faster ways to do that, and you will learn about them in one of the next steps.
Navigate backwards button.
There are some quick navigation buttons like a navigate backwards, navigate forward, parent directory button. All of this is unnecessary because basically you do this the usual Windows Explorer and Finder way. Backspace will always navigate you out of the current directory to the parent directory, and backward and forward. Basically, I really, honestly, never use them.
Combo box collapsed. Edit selected H. Sonis 3MAZD app FX alarms.
This is the combo box where the current path that you're searching through is located. You probably will just need this if you want to copy it somewhere, but usually you don't use this at all.
Combo box collapsed. Edit blank.
This is a blank edit box, and it's meant to be a search field where you can quickly search through your files and folders.
Combo box details collapsed.
There is the almost last combo box within the Media Explorer, which is currently set to details. It can also be set to list, and this basically controls how the very first entry within the Media Explorer, the tree view, looks like. If you change it to list, then it might look like this. Is especially important for the sighted people, for us blind people, visually impaired users with screen readers like NVDA, VoiceOver and everything. This doesn't make any difference as far as I know.
Preview my computer 3 of 5.
And then
level
we're
0.
back in my computer. So that's basically the entire Media Explorer layout. Let's get to the search field. We can already use the search field to filter our results and find, for example, an alarm sound. Let's navigate out of this folder structure back to my Sonis folder and press Shift Tab 3 times. Let's enter, for example, alarm number. And now Reaper is going to get a bit sluggish and slow because it's really browsing through all the folders and files on my external hard drive and searching through files that are called something with alarm inside. So we can go into the list here and press the down arrow and see what it does.
List 1 list 3 FX alarms modified.
Okay, so we actually found a result.
Type less greater 1 of 1260.
And we found 1260 results, basically. The first result is a folder.
3 FX 3 2496 alarms.
The second one as well.
Epic stock media explain a video sound
Yeah.
game web 2000.
Let's see if we can find a file. There we go.
Cinematic metal impact CM107 impact high alarm.wav.
Okay, as you can hear, we found a file. So Reaper is able to browse through all files and folders within a folder structure and find all the files that are tagged or called something with alarm, for example. But is there any way that we can improve this process even further? Like, can we speed things up? Because Reaper is going to be especially sluggish if we are searching through a lot of files and folders. Like my database is about 180,000 files, huge, and this means that we probably have to wait for quite a bit when searching through a single keyword. And this will be covered in the next step. Step 3. Creating a media database. So I've already told you why doing a search through the folder structure is not really optimal, especially not with huge folder structures and a huge amount of files that you're searching through. So what are the alternatives that we have? Well, Reaper can create a database of media files, basically. So what this does is it goes through the list of files within those folders, it collects them, writes them into a really easily searchable file structure that Reaper can analyze in milliseconds. And not just that, it will also go through all the files and check out all the metadata information within them, all the tempo information within them, all the file format information within those files. It basically does everything necessary so that it can really easily search through those files and locate them wherever they are within the file structure as soon as you enter a term into the search box. But how do you do that? Well, that's kind of easy. I start on you from the just opened Media Explorer window. I am on my computer and I'm basically going to the same folder where I was earlier again. So I'm going to Age again, Sonis, and that's X. Oh, wait, go to the very top, right? So that's it. I'm here. And what I do now is I press Alt for the file menu,
Media Explorer submenu, Alt plus N.
Media Explorer submenu, and then I go down arrow.
Media Explorer menu, create new database from current folder.
And that allows us to create new database from current folder. That's exactly what you want to do, right? So let's do that. And that's the moment where Reaper is going to get really sluggish, and it's gonna take a while. So it basically started scanning the entire folder structure, and it is doing a lot of stuff right now. If you have a bright display, you can basically check out what it's doing right now, and it already scanned over 1,200 files right now, and it's basically updating it every few seconds. And thing is, this is really, really, really sluggishly slow. We just have to let it sit a while until it actually finished. Let's fast forward to that moment. Well, this has taken almost an hour, but now we're finally finished. And we found about 180,000 of files during that time. So let's check in.
Boom library cinematic metal construction kit barbell bar impact P0 barbell bar 02.WOV. Size 356.3 KB modified. 31.05.2010173932. Type WOV. Date 2010-0531. Description: hit metal medium I small. 2 light cast iron barbell weights. Dry mark bullet rate 96,000. Chan 1 length 0 o'clock .874 bits. 24 to 181,299.
And there you've heard that there are a lot more information available already. Like, we've got the rate, we've got the length, we've got description, we've got a lot of stuff going on that we didn't have when we were just working with files and folders before. And that's because we now have a database, and Reaper collected all the necessary metadata from every file there is. Let's press Shift Tab once to see how it actually looks like.
Review DB. Sonus 4 of 6 level 0.
There you go. We now have 4 of 6 items. So we are in the usual list that previously had just like 5 items.
Less project, less track templates greater 1 of 6 level 0.
Track templates.
Project directory greater 2 of 6 level 0.
Project directory.
My computer 3 of 6
my
level 0.
computer.
DB. Sonus
and
4 of 6 level 0.
DB. Sonus. DB. Database. DB:sonus. Sonus because my folder is called like that. And what we can now do, we can rename that if we want to.
Context menu.
By pressing context menu key, we have a specific context menu for that database, which looks like the follows.
Rename database R.
We can rename.
Delete database D.
We can delete.
Add path to database A.
We can add another folder to the same database.
Remove path from database submenu R.
We can remove specific paths from here.
H. Sonus H.
There we go.
Remove path from database submenu R. Scan database for new files S.
We can rescan the database, scanning only new files that have been added to the folder, because Reaper will not automatically rescan the files, because as you noticed, this took almost an hour. If Reaper would do this whenever we open the Media Explorer or something like that, then we would basically be stuck until the process finished and waiting for an hour, just because Reaper is thinking that it should do a rescan, even though nothing actually changed, is really, really annoying. So you basically have to rescan manually whenever you know that you've actually changed something.
Remove missing files from database R.
Same goes if you removed something or moved files or anything. You can basically press remove missing files from database. It will check if all the files that it already knows about are actually still there. And if no, then they actually get rid of the files within the database that aren't available anymore.
Create new database C.
And of course you can create a new database from in here.
Scan all databases for new files S.
And you can scan all the databases at once.
Remove missing files from all databases R.
And yeah, basically all the operations can be done at at all databases in sequence. So yeah, these options are in here as well.
Rename database R.
So this is the database system. And the great thing is that we can now really, really fast search through the entire database. For example, let's do the thing that we did before. Let's press Shift Tab twice. Let's insert alarm again. And that's it. Let's tab a few times.
List one list. Boom library cinematic metal boom library cinematic metal impact CM107 impact iron arm.wov. Size 2.0 MB modified. 14.06.2010 144520. Type WOV. Date. Description: loose high metal reverberant. Tonal. Vibrating fast whooshing dot. Rate 96,000. Chan 2. Length 003.618 bits. 24 1 of 1246.
Now you're probably asking, how am I going to get a bit more control over what I'm actually searching for? Like, I'm usually not searching for one word only. If I want an alarm, but a low alarm instead of a high alarm, is there a way I can do this? Because right now I can just search for alarm, and if I type in something like alarm space high, then it will probably search for alarm high and not for alarm low. What is if the file is called low alarm and not alarm low? What can I do actually to do this? Can I do something like this? And the answer is yes, you can. And we will discuss this in the next step. Step 4. Advanced search. Imagine you've got a library with a lot, and I mean a lot of files. And you're searching for one specific file, and you've got an idea in your mind which keywords or which tags might be the right ones to actually find this file. But as soon as you enter something, you're probably going to get a lot of other files as well. Take the word shot, for example. You're searching for a gunshot or pistol shot, and you enter shot, and you will find a lot. I mean a lot of sounds. And not just that, but if you enter shot, you will find sounds called shotgun, for example, as well, which is probably not what you want. So that's why Cocos introduced a way to more clearly specify the results that you want to get by searching through the search field. So the thing that you can do, obviously, is go into the search field and enter shot, which is exactly what we will do now.
Combo box collapsed. Edit blank. S-H-O-T.
Okay, there we go. Let's see what the results are.
List 1 list. Game Master Audio Warfare Sounds Weapons Guns Weapon Cannon Shot 04.WAV. Size 806.0 KB modified 15.10.2013231318. Type WAV. Mark. Bullet. Rate 96,000. Chan 2. Length 001.432 bits. 24 not selected 1 of 11,606.
There we go. We found 11,000 sounds. And that's definitely too much, right? So what can we do to narrow the search down even further? We can make sure that the word shot will have to stand alone in the text that we're searching through. So for example, if you've got the word shotgun, which is one word, it will also find this as a result in the search. We can make sure that the word shot needs to be surrounded by spaces or need to be at the beginning or at the end of the search tag, like the description, for example, or the name of the file. So how can we do that? We surround the word shot in the search feed with quotes. Let's do that. Let's go here, insert a quote in front and a quote in the back, and let's see what the search does now.
Boom library magic Mac effect impact subcanon.wav. Size 12.7 MB modified 16.07.2017444626. Type WAV. Description very low rumbling and distant shot. A lot of echoes. Subwoofer effect. Rate 96,000. Chan 2. Length 023.022 bits. 24 not selected 1 of 1225.
And now we only got 1,225 search results, and as you might have noticed, the file name does not contain the word shot anymore, but the description does contain the word shot, and it's a single word. It's shot and not shotgun or something like that. So what if that's still not enough? What if we want to have shot, but we also want to have cannon? We want to have explicitly a cannon shot. Well, we've got the possibility to combine search filters. And how can we do that? By typing in the specific operators in uppercase letters into the search field. Let's demonstrate this. Go back into the search field.
Combo box collapsed. Edit selected shot.
We want to have shot. Let's go to the end of the string, hit space. And now we want to have a filter which takes two separate search conditions into consideration. We therefore want to have an AND operation. So we basically write AND with uppercase letters.
A-N-D.
Then we hit space, and then we type, for example, cannon.
C-A-N-O-N.
And I'm not using quotes here, so that means that cannon can be everywhere within the string. Let's see if that doesn't make a difference if we use quotes later. Let's tap 3 times.
List 1 list. Boom library magic Mac effect impact subcanon.wav. Size 12.7 MB modified 16.07.2017444626. Type WAV. Description very low rumbling and distant shot. A lot of echoes. Subwoofer effect. Rate 96,000. Chan 2. Length 023.022 bits. 24 not selected, 1 of 95.
Now we only got 95 search results. And you might have noticed that canon does not appear within the description, but it appears within the file name of this file, which is called something like boom library magic mack effect impact sub canon. There we go. Now we can narrow this down any further by just surrounding canon with quotes. Again, let's see if we get any search results now.
Boom library magic mac effect impact sub canon.wav. Size 12.7 MB modified. 16.07.2017444626. Type WAV. Description very low rumbling and distant shot. A lot of echoes. Subwoofer effect dot rate 96,000 chan 2 length 023.022 bits 24 1 of 75.
Yeah, we get 75 search results, and we still get this file because canon is written in the file name and it's surrounded by a space and the extension of the file, so it's basically standing alone. So the quotes make sure that that is the case, and we basically still get 75 search results.
Sonis GDC 26. Sonis Game Audio monthly number 5.
We can just scroll through the list.
Sound more future whip.
There we go. That's a kind of futuristic sci-fi cannon.
Future weapons 3 laser cannon. Future
A
weapons
laser
3
cannon. There we go.
Sound more future.
But
sound
what if we
sound-
actually don't want to have a laser cannon? We want to have a real cannon. Imagine we've got 200,000 search results and there are like 150,000 laser cannons in there. Can we do something about that? And we can, of course. We tap 3 times, shift tab back into the search and theme. What can we do? We can say not or big letters, and we can now say laser. And Reaper will make sure that our search results do not contain the word laser anymore. So it will basically get rid of the search results with a laser cannon. Let's see if that worked.
Combat list 1 list. Boom library magic mac effect impact sub canon.wav. Size 12.7 MB modified. 16.07.2017444626. Type WAV. Description very low rumbling and distant shot. A lot of echoes. Subwoofer effect dot mark bullet rate 96,000 chan 2 length 023.022 bits 24 1 of 24.
So now we only got 24 search results because it got rid of the already 50 laser cannon gun sound effects that we probably had in here in this list.
Sonis Game
Right?
Audio sound more future weapons 3
Sounds
1.
like it.
Future weapons 3 neutron cannon. Future weapons 3 big neutron cannon.
This is not a laser cannon, it's a neutron cannon.
Sound more future weapons 3 1.
So we got rid of the laser cannons, right? So what else can we do? We can make sure that the word that we're searching for has to be at the beginning or the end of a tag, like the file name, for example. We can make sure that the word cannon is only allowed to be located at the very beginning of a tag or the very end of the tag. Let's get rid of everything within the search field. Of course, you can combine this with any other of the other operations as well. We also get OR. Like, we can make sure that a tag only contains cannon or gun, not both of them. That's done via the word OR, obviously. So how can we make sure that cannon is always located at the beginning of a tag? We using this sign,
Carrot.
the caret, in front of the word that we want to write. So we basically write caret, cannon. Let's see what the search does.
List 1 list. Smug sound FX futuristic samples cannon laser plus 02.wav. Size 622.5 KB modified. 27.11.2019110100. Type WAV. Title cannon laser plus 02.wav. Artist Smug sound FX. Date 2019-11-22. Genre weapon comment futuristic weapon big weapon blast impact fire laser shoot cannon laser plus the dot. Description futuristic weapon big weapon blast impact fire laser shoot cannon laser plus the dot mark bullet rate 48,000 chan 2 offset 0:0.075 length 001.642 bits 24 to 49.
So you might have noticed that this library producer actually added a lot of text here. So we'll pause this. You might have noticed the file name does not contain, or it does contain canon at the very beginning. Actually, it says Canon, Laser, Blast, 02 WEF. But basically, it also contains the word Canon right at the beginning of the title. So we made sure that we can only find search results which start with the word Canon in a tag. And that made sure that we only just found like 49 search results. Whereas we recently had the word gun combined with the word Canon and still had over 100 search results, right? And the other way around, we can make sure that the word Canon needs to be at the end of a search result. We can make sure by going back to the search field, getting rid of the caret and adding the suffix dollar, the dollar sign to the end of the word Canon. Let's see what it does.
Combo box details collapsed. Tree list 1 list. The red library space battle artillery 00 artillery toolbox RLSB artillery toolbox plus domain shot laser basic cannon.wav. Size 11.9 MB modified. 22.07.2019163523. Type WAV. Date 2019-0702. Description toolbox plus domain shot laser basic cannon. Rate 96,000. Chan 2. Offset 1754.843. Length 021.582. Bits 24 1 of 14.
There we go. We only got 14 search results, which do have the word Canon at the very end of the search result. So, now that you know all of that, you can combine your own really complex search strings where you can combine all the things that you want or don't want within your search results and can tame even the largest of sound or sample libraries. But what if you don't have tags and you're only relying on your file names? Can you do anything about that? Can you correct the tags that the sample pack developer or sound library creator appended to the files? Can you do something about that if they mistyped something or added the wrong tags or something like that? And of course, you can do something about that. That will be discussed in Step 5, editing metadata. So in the circumstance that you actually want to change your metadata, because for some weird reason the library developer didn't put the right tags in there, or you would think that the sound would really fit to a specific situation that is not yet covered in the description, you can just select the sound within the list view. Let's do that. Let's select one of the sounds. There we go. Let's stop it by pressing the spacebar. And you can press the context menu key, or Shift F10, or whatever else you need to press on the Mac.
Context menu.
And you use the up arrow.
Right edited metadata to media unavailable. Edit metadata tag submenu E.
That's what we want. Edit metadata tag. And we open that submenu.
Title T.
And in there we have a list of all the metadata that isn't available, which is title, artist, album, date, genre, comment, description, BPM, key, custom tag, start offset, track number,
title T.
And that's it. As soon as you hit enter on one of those, like on title for example,
edit metadata tag dialog, title, edit blank,
you get an input box. If there's already data to be found within the metadata for the specific tag that you want to edit, then this data will be shown within this input box. Feel free to change whatever data is in there or type in whatever you want to type in. Press either enter or tap once.
OK button.
You will find an OK button. Press OK on that.
Media Explorer dialog volume.
And you will be back in the Media Explorer. You can make sure that the data will persist even if the database gets lost. Because if you do that and press enter and save your changes, those changes will only be represented within the database. As soon as you switch your computer without taking the database with you, or the database gets lost for some weird reason, or you basically have to rewrite and add all the tags and changes again that you applied within your one database. But you can make sure to write those tags that you've changed back to the files where they belong. And you can do that by pressing context menu and using the up arrow once.
Right edited metadata to media unavailable W.
Right edited metadata to media, which is unavailable in my case because I haven't changed anything. But if you changed anything, then you can use this thing to write the changes back to the file. And if you recreate the database for whatever reason, the new data will be read from the file and you will get it right within your new database that you will be creating. Okay, so now you know everything about metadata, how to organize your stuff either in folders or in a database, how you can navigate the Media Explorer interface, but there's a last thing that you can do, or some last things that you can do, which might be improving your workflow. And this is to change the behavior of the preview functionality that the Media Explorer is offering you by, for example, increasing tempo, changing the preview volume, disabling or enabling autoplay, and so on and so forth. And there, all of that will be covered in step 6. Step 6, changing preview behavior on the fly. There are finally some adjustments we can apply while previewing our media before actually inserting them into the project. And I would just show you the following, and all of them are accessible via keyboard shortcuts, so you don't have to fiddle around with the interface all the time. So the first and most interesting thing, probably if you're searching a lot of stuff, is you can disable and enable autoplay on the fly. Just go into the list,
List 1 list. Boom
and
library
use
cinematic.
the arrow keys once.
Boom library cinematic metal construction.
And now you see we get autoplay, right? But maybe we don't want this. We can hit Alt-A
Disabled autoplay.
to disable that. Press spacebar once to actually disable playback. And as soon as we now use up and down arrow keys,
Boom library cinematic metal. Boom library cinematic metal.
we would change files, but we don't get the automatic preview here. The second thing is we can turn on autoplay again.
Enabled autoplay.
But now we probably don't want the repeat functionality to trigger. So we want to hear the sound just once. And this is basically the same keystroke that you would use in the main Reaper window. You press Ctrl R.
Repeat off.
And we toggle repeat off. Now let's use up and down arrow key.
Boom library cinematic metal.
And we just
Boom li
get the sound once. Right? That's how it works. Let's toggle that on again.
Repeat on.
So the next thing that you can do is you can change the pitch and the tempo on the fly. Pitch can be changed via Shift 0, which will move the pitch up by a semitone, and Shift 9 will move the pitch down by a semitone. So let's demonstrate this.
Boom library cinematic metal construct.
There we go. And you can, for example, reset the pitch if you demonstrate this pitch a bit down here. You can reset this by pressing Ctrl backspace.
Reset pitch.
There we go. You're back to normal. The tempo can be changed as well. There are shortcuts to put it to half time and double time. So to double the tempo and to half the tempo. You can do that by pressing Alt and backslash, which will put it to half time.
Half time.
And you can put it to double time by pressing Alt and 2.
Double time.
And you can press the same shortcut again to
Play.
reset it back to normal speed.
Normal time.
You can also change the volume of the sound that you're previewing by using the usual volume up and down combinations that you already know from the main Reaper window, which is Alt, Shift, and up and down arrow keys.
Minus 24.1, minus 23, minus 22, minus 21, minus 20, minus 19, minus 18, minus 17.
Right, there we go.
Minus 25.1 dB.
Another useful trick would be to have a functionality to actually prevent the pitch from changing when actually changing the tempo, which is on Alt P.
Not preserving pitch.
Now what we can do is put it to half time,
Half time.
and it will automatically pitch together with the tempo. Or double time.
Double time.
that might be useful in the case where you're trying to sound design something actually. The last thing we'd need to cover is that you can actually tempo match a preview sound. If it's already got BPM information, you can tempo match it to the project settings that you already have by pressing Alt T.
Tempo matching.
I don't have a sound right here that is actually has BPM information. So if you actually had one that does this,
Reserving pitch.
then it would actually match that to your project tempo, basically. The last thing we'd need to cover here is how to actually get a sound into your project. And that will be the final step 7, how to insert media into your project. The final thing that we want to do is insert a sound or media or a loop or one shot or whatever we found in our database into our project, of course. And there are a few things that you could do. The most intuitive way to do this would be to press enter on that. And that's definitely fine. And we just insert this clip we found at the position you're at the moment within the project on the track that you've selected right now as a new item. But there are some other things that you could do, and those are as well accessible via the context menu. So hit that and go through the available options.
Context menu.
Use the down arrow.
Insert into project I.
This is the default action that's triggered by pressing enter. Insert into project, and we insert it at the selected track as a new item right where you are.
Insert a time selection, stretch/loop to fit I.
Insert a time selection, stretch, loop to fit. That's basically exactly what it says. It checks your current time selection and basically stretches it or loops it so that it actually fits the time selection.
Insert on a new track I.
Insert on a new track will make sure that the sound gets added on a separate track.
Insert into sample player submenu I.
Insert into sample player is a really interesting thing for all the people who are basically playing with samples and are used to working with RS5K, the REAPER internal sample player. This one has multiple options, so it's a submenu. Let's open that.
Insert sample player on a new track I.
Insert sample player on a new track would basically create a new track, create a new sample player, and within that sample player, the sound will be loaded.
Reuse active sample player R.
Reuse active sample player will basically find the sample player on the current track and plug the sound into that sample player.
Insert sample player. Insert into sample player submenu I.
So,
insert in selected media items submenu I.
The next option is insert in selected media items. And that's useful for the people who are used to working with takes or comps instead of using multiple tracks to actually layer their stuff. So what we can do here is
insert as new take I.
Insert as new take will basically apply the sound to the current media item, but as a new take, so that it can cycle through the different takes on that very item.
Replace media source R.
Replace media source will use the item that you've already selected, but it will just replace the media source. So if you want to use a sound which is really similar or basically is the same length, or you just want to replace the sound but you've already aligned it properly and everything, you can just select the item, find the correct sound that you want to be the replacement in here, and just replace the media source with it.
Replace media source, stretch/loop to fit R.
And this is basically replacing the media source, but it will also make sure that the new sound is applied to the item length by stretching or looping it so that it actually fits the item length.
Insert as new I. Insert in selected media item submenu I. Preview P.
Okay, and that's it. Of course, now we've got the preview options and all the other options available in the context menu. I cannot motivate you enough to actually go through the various menus and options within the Media Explorer yourself. They are really accessible via context menu, via the menu bar, via all the different options, checking out the window yourself to find the various functionalities that are hidden within the Media Explorer. And the Media Explorer is one of the most active development fields of Cocoa. So basically with every Reaper version, something gets changed in the Media Explorer. Features get added. The Media Explorer got a huge overhaul during the last 10 Reaper version upgrades or so. So don't forget to check out every Reaper changelog as soon as the new version comes out to see if something changes within the Media Explorer. And that should have been it. This video ended up being a huge undertaking. So please consider leaving a like, subscribing to the channel, or writing a comment letting me know what you found to be especially useful within this video or what I could improve within the next one. I'd also love to hear about your ideas on content that you'd like to watch on this channel, so don't hesitate to write a comment in the section below this video. To my sighted audience, please let me know what I can improve within the videos that I'm showing to you. Since I can't see them myself, this feedback will be really important to me. Thanks for watching this video. Until next time, bye bye.